welcome back to my channel. Thank you for coming back, and as always, huge massive thank you for the support. I really do appreciate it. So today I'm coming back again with this Teddy Time craft stash pad, which is the free gift in the newest magazine, the Crafting with Hunkydory Magazine number 83. And today we're going to be playing with our Rockstar bear and our gaming bear. So let's just pop that to the side. And I'm going to bring in my trimmer. Now I've already got a 6x6 card blank, so it's just that 6x12 that I folded in half. And what I'm going to do is pop this over the cut line to the 1 inch mark, and I'm going to cut down to 5 inches. And then I'm going to turn this this way around. So now I've got that cut line I've just done going along the top again to that 1 inch mark, and I'm going to go all the way back, and that's going to cut us those pieces like so. And then if I pop this in with that crease line and the point, up here we've got the point, up here we've got that on the crease line. And then I should be able to just cut that along till I meet that piece that I've just cut. That should come away. And then if I lift up and just do the same on this side. So we're creating a sort of cutaway piece. There we go. And then the card blank we now have has got that cutaway piece just as a little bit of interest. Now I'll just pop that to the side, and do you remember what I said about the fluffy bits? Just with this, it's like a sand eraser. It's just going to neaten up those cut lines. I think my blade could do with a refresh, but we're going to have to wait because I don't think they've got any at Hunkydory. Let's just give that a good finish now. So there is our card blank that we're working with today. So I'm going to bring in some gold mirror card, and I want a piece for this back here, which is going to be 2 notches under the 2, just my usual really, and 2 notches under the 2. And that's just going to give me a 1mm sort of border all the way around. Okay, so we've got that 1mm all the way around. So then I'm going to take, so the paper that's going to go on that is going to be insert paper. So I'm going to use the insert paper, and I use the guillotine to cut that. And then next I want a piece to go across here. So what I'm going to do is cut this at 5 3/4. Don't know why this works better, but it does. And then corner to corner, and then that one should fit quite nicely onto there with just a nice white border all the way around. And then this square here is 4 by 4, so I need another little piece of gold. And we're going to cut this to 2 notches under the 4 and 2 notches under the 4, and that will go on top of there like so. So that again is also going to be the paper, but the piece that's going on here is going to be with this foiled cardstock that came as an addition to the kit. And I'm going to take this to 5.5. And again, I'm going to cut that to 5.5. And then again, straight corner to corner. Keep that piece for another card. And then this should fit on here with a nice fine border all the way around, like so. Okay, let's get the guillotine out and do those insert pieces. So if I come to the stash pad, and in here there is this really lovely insert paper with paws on. That's the one I'm going to use. She says if she can find it. Here we go. So we're just going to pop that one out, right to the side. And then we just need to cut this to, oh no, this, I need to do it on the other trimmer first of all, because that one doesn't go up to 8. If you've got a bigger guillotine, you'll be fine. No, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm crazy. I'll be fine on here because the card is only 6 by 6. Sorry guys, have in a minute. Okay. And then this one I'm going to cut at 5 3/4. And that should fit quite nicely onto there. And that's going to go on the back. So we'll have that bit of pattern coming through. And then I'm going to use this blue paper that I used the other day. It's got those squares on the back. And we're going to take this 2, 3 3/4. That should fit onto our little square like so. Okay, so confusion over. Let's just get on with some assembling, and then we can start to bring those toppers in. So the glues I'm going to be using, they're going to be the usual ones. In the white is the Kalau tacky glue. In the clear is the Kalau all-purpose glue, which is an alcohol-based glue. And for the papers, I'm also going to be using these Hunkydory permanent dots. So let's put some of those on the corners of these papers. So put that there. And a little bit of this all-purpose. And we can pop that onto there. Give that a good press down. And the benefit of that is that you can still write on it. It's decorative, but it, you know, it's dual purpose basically. So let's pop this in. If you wanted to use the little mini inserts in there, the little 4x4 ones, you could always mount that onto a little bit of gold and then pop it directly behind this square piece. Would look nice, make a nice little feature of it. Okay, so let's pop that on there and bring that over. This one is cardstock to cardstock, and in, and then we can just pop that on. Oops, got to stay still. There we go. And then again, tacky glue and some all-purpose. And then we can pop this in. There we go. Okay, now some of it will be hidden by this, some of the foiling and everything, which is a shame. So you could always swap it for one of the others, or even go with another one of the papers if you prefer, or even bring in any of the Dewar design pads, that sort of thing. There are loads of different ways you can use these toppers. Okay, let's give that a good little press down. And that's going to fit on there rather nicely. I think what I'll do is just raise it up by 1 millimetre. Let me just grab some pads, and I think I want the dashes going left to right, so let's pop those on there, and then we'll see whether I need to, have I done that right? No, I haven't, but we'll still be able to see. Okay, well, we can go that way instead. I would have preferred it to go the other way, but it's fine. Okay, so because we've got the cardstock and that cardstock there, so we've got 2 layers of cardstock, that's brought it up to pretty much the same level as these 1mm pads. So just by lifting it on half of it, it's going to make sure this is all nice and flat, if you know what I mean. So a little bit of tacky glue, bring that in, and I'm just going to make sure I've got a little bit of a white border, nice and even. And that's going to go onto there. So that's our card shape to start with. Okay, let's grab the topper. We're obviously going to go with our drummer bear. So he's going to go pride of place on there, fits beautifully. And then we've got time to rock out. Maybe that might be nice up there. And maybe best wishes superstar down here, because we've got those blues as a contrast. You could go with any of these really, drop the mic, you're how old, but I think we will go with those 2. So let's bring him in, and I think what I'm going to do is glue him flat, and we'll have this raised 2mm, just so we've got a really nice sort of difference between those 2 layers. So I was swapping my computer around earlier, so I'm working on a slightly different computer. The program is the same, but it is different, it's new to me, so we will see how we get on with that one. Does seem to be a bit faster, if I'm honest, but most of the computers don't like the fact that I obviously save videos, change them, edit them, and then save them again, and then delete the old one. So, I mean, I'm not techie, don't get me wrong. I don't know very much, but I know they don't like that. It sort of slows them down a bit. But we'll see how we go on. We'll see if it's any better. If not, I can always go back to the old one. I was hoping that the editing might be a little bit faster, to be honest, because sometimes the saving of that can take quite a long time. And we'll see how it goes. Right, so let's grab these off while chatting nonsense. But have you all been enjoying the Little Books anniversary? Are you a Little Books fan? I mean, I like the Little Books. Don't always know what to do with them though. But then saying that, you can do barely anything and still have a beautiful card. And I love the fact you do get so many different designs in each one. Sometimes I think it's best just not to overthink it and just, you know, keep it simple. Okay, let's pop our little frame on. We're just going to tad over that way. So I've just put some PVA glue on the back just to give me a little bit of wiggle room time with them. And then I'm just going to pop some all-purpose on the back of here. And we'll put our little, oops, rock star in, straighten him up. There he goes. So he looks like he's coming through his little doorway tonight. Matthew, he's going to be. All he needs is a bit of smoke, if you remember that show. And then we'll pop just under, so we just want a little bit of border all the way around. Again, we'll stay with the 2mm on here. Take the backs off. There we go. And then I'm thinking maybe some blue gems if I've got any to hand. Let's go. Actually, what I'm going to do is just raise that up another millimetre. So if I just use a little 1mm foam pad, and there, I just want to take it over that frame. So this will need a sort of generous envelope. So again, some tacky glue. And then we can pop that under. It's nice and straight. Okay, so now some blue gems. We'll go with these ones, because we have got some of those nice dark ones. And I'm just going to pop 3, 2, 1, and then 1, and one a medium size one. Is that medium? Yes, it is. There we go. There we go. That's cool. Okay, so that is our card number 1. Like I say, if you wanted to pop one of these ones in, there will be a rock style one, I'm sure. Is he in there? No, he's not. There he is. Look, see. If you wanted to cut that out and mount that on a little bit of a gold card, you could then hide that behind there. That'd be a cute surprise element to the card. That is card number 1, and I'm just going to get set up for card number 2. Okay, so for card number 2, I'm going small. Well, not small, I'm going 5 by 5. Just because you can with these toppers. You know, if you like the smaller cards, this is a perfect pad for you. So what I've done is just taken one of those 6 by 12 sheets and just cut it down to 5 by 10 and scored in half. So I'm going to take this 6 by 6 mirror mat, and I'm going to cut that to 2 notches under the 5. Like so. And then I've got this card left over from before, I think maybe the first lot of cards I did. This is the coordinating cardstock, you know, the extra cardstock that they give you. It's 4 sheets, 2 printed, 2 foiled. So I'm going to cut that down to 4 3/4 squares, or squared. So just to get that nice little border there. And then I've got this little tiny piece of a midnight blue adorable scoreable. I'm pretty sure it's midnight blue. It's the new one, and what I've done, I'm just going to cut that to 4 3/4, is I've just popped it through the free embossing folder. So I did it in 2 because I kept it as a long piece, not knowing what I was going to do, but you can just, for this 5 by 5, just pop it in, and it's not particularly directional, so you can have it any way you like. And then I just want a little gold mat for that. So let's work out what that is. Like I say, it was just an offcut from something else. And that was just under the half. So if I go just over, let's grab a little bit of tape, just as an extra hand to hold that in place. And hopefully we should have just quite a nice fine border there. Okay. just need to take the end off that because that is 2 notches under the 5 and I want it to be 4 3/4. Okay, so it's going to be the exact size of that, like so. And I think that's all we need. Like I say, I'm keeping this one super simple just to show you know, you hardly have to do anything to make a nice card with this stash pad. So again, I'm going to have this as a tent fold. It is just my preferred card shape. I just think they tend to long term hold up better, but that's my personal opinion. You could go with a side fold if you prefer. I think we're sort of used to seeing side folds because all of the cards you know you sort of bought as in the past, they've always been you know, well, 99% of the time they're side folds, aren't they? So okay, let's just pop that one on. Okay, so do that. And then this one, because it is so fine, what I'm going to do is just use dots all the way along, just much easier. And they are permanent, so they will stay. And also you can just maneuver them if you aren't happy with their first placement. Okay, let's try that again. Let's try one last time. Let's go right up to the end this time, like I'm supposed to. And I think that's going to be fine. Maybe just a tad. And then I can just see that just overhangs a little, so I'm just going to neaten that up. And then this one is going to go along here. Do I want to raise it up? Nope, I don't think I do. I'm going to keep the focus on the sentiment and the topper. So I'm going to go about there, I think. It's going to be fine. Let's just add a bit of interest, really. Right, where are you, my little gaming bear? So he's there. And then, well, we've got to go with levelling up, haven't we, really? Move that over. And I think that's going to be fine. And I think what I'll do on this one is the opposite of what I did on the other one. I am going to go to the left a bit so that we've got a nice bit of space for that. I probably can just move that down a little. Just checking that that glue is not showing. Make sure that's nice and straight. Yeah. No. That is better. Okay, so like I say, we'll go flat with this one. We'll raise our bear right up on our 2 millimeters, and then we'll pop this coming over the bottom there, and then a couple of little gems. So let's pop a little bit of all-purpose on here. This time, you can use either. Like I say, just coming over a little bit to that left side. And again, if I grab that little T ruler, we can just make sure, excuse my head, there we go, that's okay. And then this one, nice and easy to pop it in. because it fits exactly in that square. So again, with these 2mm foam pads, and then I'm going to put a nice amount on there just for support. And there, and then again just take those backs off, and I will use the tacky glue again just to give me that little bit of wiggle room time. You know, you just need to, yes, there's one more, and give yourself the best chance of getting it straight, although saying that, it should just go straight into this frame. So theoretically it should be harder to get it on the wonk. That's not to say that I haven't managed it before. Okay, and again we're going to go, let's have a look. I think we're just going to need one there. Then I think I'm going to cut a little narrow piece to go on the bottom, and just take one more piece just to go over that bar, and on the bar, just because I've got a piece here, we'll stick a little 1mm foam pad just for the support in the middle. Could go up another millimetre like I did on that other card if you want to really make it sort of stand, but I think with this one I want to try and slip it just under that topper. So let's move it over just a little bit. There we go, I think that looks pretty cool. And then for gems, this time I think I'm going to go with the red, because we have got that little hint of red in there. And I do want to use these ones up. So let's just go one big one in those two corners. And then a small and a really diddy one there, and then a medium one down there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, looks good to me. And that is going to be that card. Now the insert for that one, what I'm going to do is just take that 4x4 insert from the pad. I will just mat it on a little bit of gold or blue depending on what I've got to hand in that size, and I'll just pop that on the inside just as a bit of a decoration. But that is card number 2 with that one, and let's just bring it back in card number 1. So you can see quite different cards today, but both quite cool, especially for younger people. You know, this one, if you've got a teenager sort of 10 upwards really, maybe would appreciate that, even though he's a teddy, he's a pretty cool teddy. But that's it for today. So next time we'll be coming back with Decorator Bear. But what I might do, instead of doing the topper, is pre-cut all of the decoupage, and we'll use the decoupage piece rather than the actual topper, and then use the other topper on there. But that's it, like I say, for today. Thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourselves, and until next time, happy crafting. Bye.